I'm on page 191 and we're looking at problem 3. I did go ahead and copy it down off screen or off camera so you don't have to watch me do that. But let's read it and see what we can do here. The one-to-one function f of x equals 6.5x represents the cost to download X books from a website. And they want us to tell what is the cost per book and to find the cost of downloading 4, 5, 6, and 7 books. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to review some very important things. So I want you to copy this if you need to. You can pause the video, and then let's draw a table of values. I'm going to try with these types of problems to review as much as I can so that you're constantly refreshing those skills that you've learned. So let's put in 5 lines up here. And I may need another one. I can't remember. You learned this first as just plain old X and Y. We talked about that the X's are the independent and these are the dependent variables. We called it domain and range. We called it X and f of X. And in this particular problem, we have X books, and then the other part is the cost. So we are going to use X as a measure of books, and f of X is going to be the cost in dollars. So go ahead and remember all the labels, but then figure out what the labels are in our particular graph. So once you know that, the first thing I want to do is look at my equation. So I have f of X equals 6.5x. And we're going to let that be, this first one, the cost of one book. We want to know the cost of one book. And if you look at your problem over here, this is your X component and this is your Y component. So we don't know this yet, but we know that X, the number of books, is going to be 1. So when X is 1, Y is 6.5, or $6.50. So we've answered the first question because the point is 6.5. That means that one book is $6.50. So the first question can be answered just by looking at your equation. Okay, let's do another thing here. Actually, let's go ahead and finish the answer and then we'll do the rest of it. So I want to do the cost of 4, of 5, of 6, and of 7 books. Now, you can work the formula as many times as you want to. Let me do it one more time just to show you. So f of 4, actually I'll do it all of them because that's what I'm supposed to do. So 6.5 times 4, use your calculator, that is 26 dollars. And then f of 5 is going to be 6.5 times 5. Use your calculator. Is $32.50. I was going to try to graph this, but that graph would be enormous. We'll try though. Okay, and then we have f of 6 is 6.5 times 6. and that's going to be $39. And then finally, f of 7 is 6.5 times 7, and that equals $45.50. So we've answered their question. The answers to this second part of the question are in the table. Let's see if we can graph it. If not, if it turns into a nightmare, we'll just not do it. But let's see what we can do. Okay, on the independent variable, that's the x's, this is the number of books. And this one needs to go from 1 to 7. Now we don't have a value for each of those, and that's okay. We don't have a 2 or a 3, but we have a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7. And then to get our dollars, let's see what kind of scale we can work with. This is 0. So here's how you do your scale again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to calculate the range of my y's. That's 45.50 minus 6.50. Oh, we lucked up. The answer, the difference between the biggest and smallest is $39. So each of these lines will represent $3. 39 divided by that 13 is going to give us 3. And that was a stroke of luck, because this scale will end exactly where it needs to. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39. And remember, this is the dependent variable of cost. So cost depends on how many books you buy. So when you buy one book, you will spend $6.50. When you buy 4 books, you will spend $26. So I'm having to sort of estimate on my graph, and that's okay. 5 books is $32.50. 6 books is $39. And I ran out of graph. That's okay too. We can still graph here. Something like that. Only it should be linear. But this would be sort of the point range of your graph. Notice these values are missing. They're not in the table, but that's okay. We don't have to have them. So the graph would be something like this. It is 0, 0. If you spend no money, you get no books. So it is one of those proportional graphs. The slope of this graph is 6.50, 6.5. The unit rate is $6.50 for one book, and the constant of proportionality is 6.5. So that's a good time to review those terms. I am not going to draw a line on this one because it will not look like a line. My graph is not properly scaled and it just won't look right. Well, I can try. Something that looks like that. It's not bad. But it is linear. I can tell you that by looking at this function. The x is to the first power. There's no power with the x. That tells me that it's linear. This is called a first degree function, because the exponent's there, you just don't see it. It's only 1x. So the answers to this question are actually right here. But I wanted to take the opportunity to review what you've learned and connect it to this particular example.